Greetings, travelers, and welcome to the latest Tempo Wild Meta Snapshot. In our last report, we observed that Wild was changing in the wake of Onyxia's Lair, but as it turns out, we were barely scratching the surface. In the weeks since the new mini-set launched, we've seen some earth-shattering developments in the format, but the top story has got to be Pirate Warrior's fall from grace. Once an undisputed meta tyrant, Pirate Warrior is now besieged from all sides by a wide assortment of strategies that are heavily tuned to beat it. If Pirate Warrior was the deck to beat, and if that deck is now beatable, which decks are the best picks for climbing in this brave new world? Well, let's take a closer look. As of now, we have 5 decks in Tier 1, which is a definite shift from the top-heavy environment we'd experienced since United in Stormwind, where 1 or 2 big decks dictated the rest of the meta. Of these decks, Mecha'thun Warlock and even Warlock are familiar faces that rose to power as the other top decks around them collapsed due to nerfs. Mecha'thun Warlock is now Wild's premier combo deck with fast card draw and an inevitable win condition, and even Warlock carries on the classic handlock legacy with big early threats and plenty of removal. The other 3 decks, though, are relatively new rising stars in the Onyxia's Lair meta. Inner Fire Priest has been gaining steam ever since Drekthar, Bless, and Shadowword Devour were released in Fractured and Alterac Valley, and its power against Pirate Warrior has turned this priest list into a meta staple. A similar thing can be said for Beast Druid, which features a potent mix of cheap minions, big threats, and card draw that is powerful in its own right, but especially powerful against Warrior. Last but not least, we have a remix of a Stormwind meta staple in Questline Hunter. The nerf to Rapid Fire put a damper on the deck's old configuration with Baku the Moon Eater, but Dragonbane Shot's release in Onyxia's Lair inspired players to pick up the Hunter questline once again. Even without the upgraded hero power, the new Questline Hunter is just as potent as the original, and again, just as effective against Warrior. With so many solid options to play against Pirate Warrior, we can't recommend it as a Tier 1 option anymore in today's meta. The deck is still extremely popular, and truth be told, still quite powerful, but if you're relying on it to carry you past Legend, you'll have your work cut out for you. A similar thing can be said of Free Shaman, which is still capable of doing powerful things with cards like Snowfall Guardian and the Ice Fishing removal combo, but it's less effective today in a meta that's evolved around it. Aggro Priest and Linecracker Druid are recurring favorites that still pack a punch, even if they're starting to feel a little dated, and Quest Rogue is a blast from the past combo deck that can give Mecha'thun Warlock a run for its money. These Tier 2 decks have their strengths and weaknesses, but for once in Wild, the same could be said of Tier 1 as well. The power curve between Tier 1 and the rest of the meta is flattening out in the Onyxia's Lair era, and it's leaving room for other interesting developments. Dragon Druid featuring Kazakhstan and Raid Boss Onyxia is turning out to be much more than just a meme. Paladin has some offbeat options with both Reno Paladin and the Prodigal Son Even Paladin making some waves. And of course, many of Wild's fringe competitive decks from the past few months are still worth exploring. The only big losers in terms of classes in Wild are Mage, which still hasn't recovered from the nerf to Sorcerer's Apprentice, and Demon Hunter, which is desperate for some fresh blood to replace Odd Demon Hunter and put the class back on the map. Every other class has multiple competitive options that can take you to Legend and beyond. Altogether, Onyxia's Lair is shaping up to be a fresh and exciting time for the Wild format, and we look forward to seeing how the meta develops from here. As always, be sure to check out the full meta report on tempostorm.com for all of the details. Thank you for watching.